evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Colette on behalf of Urban Cake Republic, and I'm going to show you how to do a panda bear. Okay, so what I have sugar paste. Okay, so here's the sugar paste. This is black, and of course the other colour I'm going to work with is white as well. So here's the white sugar paste. Okay, so what we need to do is we're going to start off from the bottom upwards, or actually we start off with the body, work on the legs, work on the arms, and we'll do the head last. All right, so what I've got to do is put up a little piece of sugar paste, and of course I'm going to knead it into the shape, which is going to be a pear shape. Now what you can do is actually use some Tyler, if you can see that. Just ignore the brand, but the CMC or Tyler or Tylo's powder. So you can use that, put in about half a teaspoon into the full amount of the whites that you're going to use and knead it in. I'm not going to use it today. And what it does, it actually hardens the paste so that you're able to keep your paste and your model for a little bit of a while. In other words, you can make it in advance and keep it until you need it. And it's always good sometimes to make models in advance of your actual cake orders or whatever. And the nice thing about toppers and cakes is that the customer or the client or the person that you make it for, your friend, family, will appreciate it and take it away, and often they keep it. Okay? So I'm just kneading this at the moment, just making it nice and pliable. So when I pull it, it's nice and pliable. It's sugar paste, it should be nice and stretchy when you've got it to the right consistency. And as with every animal, I'm going to roll it in my palm. We make an almost pear shape for the body. So as you know, a panda has a nice fat body, and that's what we're going to start off with. Nice round fat body. So what I'm doing is resting it in my palm, just making a slight pear shape. It should be nice and smooth. Down there so you can see. Now what I can see, there's a bit of a colour right going on, so I'm going to put in a different background so you can see what's going on. I'm just going to pause for a moment. Okay, so I've got a nice green mat so you can see what's going on. Okay, so you've got our nice and lovely body. Okay, now with the pandas, you know it's black and white, so I'm going to do the legs a contrasting colour, which will be the black. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to roll it into a sausage shape, and pandas are a little bit on the chunky side. I'm just going to roll it on here. Make it nice and smooth. I'm using my palm so I can get a nice sausage shape. And then I'm going to use a knife, a palette knife, and I'm going to cut it. And I'm just going to make sure that they're around about the same size, because legs should be. I'm quite happy with that. And then what I'm going to do is, using my finger, my little finger, to make a little dent right at the end for the feet. I'm just going to press it down. And at the bottom, I'm actually going to do some paws. We're just doing 3 little circles and a larger circle. It is hard to get from the same side, so just keep going until you get at least 3 of them the same size and 1 larger. So that's for 1 foot. And if you find your paste is sticking a little bit, what you can do is add a little bit of cornstarch or flour paste. Okay, so using my brush and a little bit of water, you can use edible glue, of course. Little dabs of water where the pores are going to be. So for the big pad, from the end of the foot, I'm going to put that at the bottom there. And then for the toes, one, 2, and 3. Okay, so you've got tiny little pads. Okay, that's one leg. Doing the same again. Large circle. And smaller. Large pad at the bottom. And press down. Spread it out a little bit. And then we add the 3. So wherever you want to position the toes, just dab on the water. One, 2, and of course it falls on the floor, so I shall get another one. Just move it around a little bit. Okay, and then we've got the paws. Then we put the legs on the side, wrapping it around the body. Of course, here's the other leg. Just wrapping it around. Make sure the legs are the same distance apart from each other and the same length as well. Okay, so that's the look. Next thing are the arms. Same principle applies as the legs. Arms are getting quite chunky. Just flattening out the edges. Cutting it approximately in the centre. And what I'm going to do is just flatten it down a little bit on the edge, using my finger to flatten it down, so you can see it's slightly tapered on the edge there. And do the same with this one. Flatten it down, so you can see it's tapered. And I'm just squeezing the end here. And I'm squeezing the other end, just giving it a little bit more, like a point. Right, there you go. There's a point there. So you can see there's a slight point there. And just make sure the arms are the right length for the actual bear that you're making. Nothing worse than a bear with uneven arms. I might even make his arms a little bit shorter. So if you feel that perhaps it's not quite in proportion, just remove little bits and pieces. Do exactly the same thing again, just to make sure the arms are nice and tapered. And the reason why I'm tapering it is so that the head will fit on, which will all make sense. And you're doing it. I'm just making that little point again. So the end of the hand is tapered, and here it's got a little point. Okay, so you can see it's pointed. Yeah, there you go. You can see it's pointed slightly. And then using, now that I'm happy with the length of the arms, yes, that's a lot better. Just making sure it actually looks good. Yeah, quite happy with that. So what I'm going to do now, just use a brush again, a little bit of water or edible glue. I'm just going to put some water there to stick the arms onto the body. Okay, now be very, very careful when you're adding black to white, because it's quite easy for the colour to actually transfer onto the white. So if you don't do it well, you'll find that you'll have little black patches on the actual panda itself. So you have to be very, very careful when you're using a white colour. I'm quite happy with the hands. And if you want to, you can do little indentations. So you can use, I've got a smaller palette knife here. If you want to make little fingers, it's entirely up to you. You can do that before you actually stick it onto the body of the actual bear itself. But I can't be bothered right now because I think it looks cute as it is. You've got lovely little feet paws, and then you've got the hands. So he's got a big tummy. So he's quite a well-fed panda. Loves his bamboo. Next thing we're going to do the head. Now with the head, making sure there's no, because you've been working with the black, so what I'm going to do is I'm literally just going to clean my hands. I'm going to use a little bit of water that I have here. And I'm just going to use my dishcloth, which I have here. I'm just going to clean my hands. And that's to make sure there's no colour transfer of black onto the white paste. I'm drying my hands at the same time. Okay. And because my hands are slightly wet, I'm just going to use my cornstarch or corn flour. Just dry out my hands a little bit. Or you can use Trex or shortening. Entirely up to you. But because it's white, I'm using corn flour. And then with this panda, it's got a little bit of a big head, because they usually do. So checking the proportion, the head should be just a little bit smaller than the actual body itself, so just a bit smaller. And just rolling it again as I do, using the flat palm. Do it a little bit slower so it doesn't blur. Just making sure that I'm happy with the proportions of the panda. And yes, I'm quite happy. Okay. So the next thing I'm going to do before I decide to put the head on, I'm actually going to do the panda eyes, the nose, and the snout. I'm just going to literally lay that back here. So for the eyes, use my hands. I'm actually rolling a small ball of black paste in my palm. And I'm just flattening it out slightly. I'm going to do the same thing again with this, making sure it's approximately the same size when I flatten it out. So that one's slightly bigger, so I'm going to add a little bit of black paste again, just to make it more or less the same size, because whatever you do, it's got to be symmetrical, it's got to be the same size. So you can see I'm flattening it out on my palm. And what I'm going to do is going to make a slight teardrop shape. A slight teardrop shape. Okay, so you can see it's, if I turn it that way, you can see it's a slight teardrop shape. I'm going to do that and leave that down there. And I'll do the same with the other one. Just make a teardrop shape by pointing, making a point at one end. Almost looks like a pumpkin seed or sunflower seed. Okay, you see. And then I'm going to place it on the face. Okay, and what I do, I tend to place first before I commit. Okay. I'm thinking, yeah, that's in roughly the right place. And then I'm now going to commit by putting water on. And sticking it down. Okay, so if I show you what it looks like, you can see. He's running away from me. Right, you can see his eyes are slightly downward turned. Okay, as panda's eyes normally are. And then I'm going to use white and create little eyeballs. I'm sticking it on top of the black, obviously. And making sure it's the right size, and then before I commit, I'm happy with that. Yep, and then using a little bit of water, sticking it down. I can show you what I've done so far. Okay, and then finally, for the eyes, we're going to do the pupils. Look at the irises, one or the other. I'm going to put those inside. I'm a bit clumsy today. Okay, so it's almost as if the panda's got a mask on, like a superhero panda. Okay. Next thing I'm going to do is put on the snout. The snout will be white. The oval shape. Again, before I commit, I'll just make sure it's the right shape. Make it a bit bigger. So it's an oval. You see, it's an oval shape. Okay. And I'm going to put it on top. There. Again, just sizing it up, making sure it's the right way. Once I'm happy, again, using water and a brush. Stick it on there. And of course, we're going to do a nose. Quite a big nose, I think. So I'm just rolling it into a circle again. Just checking it out. Before you put your shapes on, always check it out. Always make sure it's the right size and what have you. If it's not the right size, this is your opportunity to actually change it. Okay. I'm just changing it into a little triangle. So making the nose into a triangle shape. I'm quite happy with that. Again, using a little bit of water, a bit of glue, and stick it on top. And now we're going to give the panda a little bit of a smile. So using the scallop tool, the scallop, if you can see the end, it's like a C. I'm not too sure if you can see that. It looks like a C. It looks like a shovel. Okay. And the C is here, or U, if you like. So that's just there you go. You can see the shape of it. Okay. Just going to use the scallop tool to make a mouth. I'm pressing it in one way, pressing it in the other. He's got a nice little smile. You can see it. I'm not too sure if you can see that. Go up to the camera. You can see a little bit of a smile, cheeky smile there. Okay. And then what you can do is actually put a piece of spaghetti, which is edible, or you can put a cocktail stick in there. Okay, I'm going to do neither because at the moment I don't have a cocktail stick, if the truth be told. And I'm going to place the head on top of the body. And you can see he's coming to life now. Okay. Almost looks like a raccoon in a way, but once we finish off, it'll look like a panda. Then what I'm going to do is do his ears. What I do is 2 circles. Reasonably big circles because his head is quite big. Again, test it out just to make sure you've got the right size. If you feel it's too small, then go a bit bigger. But not too big because then it starts looking like a mutant monkey. We don't want a mutant monkey. Okay, so that's the size of the ball there, that's one. Again, trying to make the balls a similar size. I'm rolling it again in my palm. That's it. And then using the ball tool, this is a ball tool, you see, I'm going to use the large end and just press it down. Okay. Literally doing a little dent in there. Okay. It looks like a wheel. Let's use this. Okay. It looks like a tyre almost. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cut off the end. The reason why I'm cutting off the end is so that the ear will balance easily once I stick it on. And then cutting off the edge again. So it looks almost like a semicircle. If I stand it up, you can see almost like a semicircle. And then I'm going to use a ball tool, the smaller end, just to secure it on the here. Okay, and that is the end of the tutorial. Little panda. Of course, if you want to give it a little bit more character, you can give it a little bow tie, or you can do a little tux or something, or if it's winter, you can make a little scarf, or you can put a little hat on it, you know, or if you want to, you can put some hair on there as well. Let's put some hair, actually. You can give it, because it's a boy, I've decided it's a boy, just all of a sudden it's a boy. So you can give it a little quiff or something. Just taking a little bit of paste and I'm just making it into a little just going to give him a little bit of hair, give him another strand. Or you can even give him earphones, depending on your creative juices or how you feel. You can just bring them to life, and depending on the occasion of the birthday as well. Or the occasion might even be a wedding. And I'm just going to use my knife just to bring the hair across so you can see a bit of a fringe. Okay, so there's so much you can do. Or if you don't want it, you can just take it off altogether. It's entirely up to you. Okay, so there's the option, hair, no hair. All right, so that's the end. Hope you've enjoyed it.